Hello dear students, today we want to understand an activity to know the properties or characteristics of the compound and mixture, or the difference between the compound and mixture. The requirements that we have is, we have two watch glass A and watch glass B. We have with us the sulfur powder. We have with us the foils of iron, so we can also call them the iron fillings. So we have the iron fillings with us. We have the acid solution with us, acid solution, and then we have the solution of carbon disulfide. We have a spatula, we have the test tube, we have the facility to filtrate or to perform the process of filtration. Now we are going to start some activity. So first we shall take some iron fillings into the you can see the iron fillings are in watch glass A. Now I'm going to add the sulfur powder to watch glass B. So this is how I'm going to add the sulfur powder to watch glass B. You can see the yellow colored sulfur powder is being added to watch glass B. This is our sulfur powder. Now we are going to do some tests for us. So let us see how the test goes on. First of all, we should use this magnet to see what happens when we move this magnet into the iron fillings. You can see that the iron fillings are attracted by the magnet. But if we pass the same magnet with the sulfur powder is not attracted by the magnet. Now but this is what they are going to attract. So this is how the sulfur powder is not being attracted until we don't push it in. But these they come. So there is attraction between the iron fillings and the magnet, but there is no attraction between the sulfur powder and our magnet. Now we are going to study about the sulfur powder and the reaction of sulfur powder with carbon disulfide, and the reaction of sulfur powder with our iron fillings with carbon disulfide. So we have these two test tubes. In one test tube I am going to add one spatula full of sulfur powder. In the other I am going to add some of the iron fillings. You can see the iron fillings inside the sulfur powder inside the test tube. And now I am going to add the carbon disulfide in both of these test tubes, and let us see what happens. First I have added carbon disulfide to the test tube containing the iron fillings, and now I am going to add the carbon disulfide to the test tube containing sulfur powder. And you can easily see that the test tube that contains the sulfur powder, all the sulfur powder has been dissolved into the carbon disulfide, whereas these iron fillings, they cannot be dissolved and they remains the same, or they remains the you can easily see, or you can easily watch the iron fillings inside the bottom of the test tube. You can easily identify them. Now you can see all the sulfur powder has been dissolved into the solution. So this is what it makes the true solution for us. Let us do the filtration of the solution so that we can understand that the kind of solution it has been formed is pure solution of sulfur powder and carbon disulfide. You can see that there is a process of a filtration. We have added it, and we cannot see anything on this filter paper. There is no sulfur powder left on the filter paper, and all this carbon disulfide has this sulfur powder dissolved in it, and we can keep it again back to the test tube. So we have performed, you can see again we have performed, or now we are going to mix both this material present in watch glass. So I am going to add sulfur powder to some of the iron fillings. You can see here these are the iron fillings. I am going to add sulfur powder to it, and then I am going to add some of the iron fillings into the sulfur powder. So now you can see I have been mixed both the substances well. I have even mixed this substance. So now we have two things in our watch glasses, and both are same. We have the iron fillings as well as sulfur powder mixed with each other. Now what I am going to do, I have mixed these two solution, but I have mixed these two substances, but this mixture I am going to heat it up to red hot, and when I heat it up to red hot, actually I get this kind of substance, because you know we should not waste our time in heating, or I cannot show you that. Also I have shown you this. This is the kind of substance that is being produced when we heat the mixture. You can see here, when we heat the mixture of sulfur powder and iron fillings, we get such mixture, such matter. This is nothing but your ferrous sulfide or iron sulfide stick, or this is what we call it, the iron sulfide stick, or iron sulfide is produced, ferrous sulfide is produced. So now we have the two components. One is the ferrous sulfide, which is produced by heating the iron and sulfur powder, and then we have the in watch glass A we have sulfur powder as well as the iron fillings. Now we are going to perform few tests so that we can really understand the difference between the compound and mixture. Here you can see that when I have heated the iron and sulfur powder, a new compound is formed. This compound is known as the iron sulfide, which is also known as the ferrous sulfide. You can see here, when we heat these substances, we get iron ferrous sulfide. That is the reaction between the iron and sulfur. So this is your ferrous sulfide which is being produced due to this reaction. And then we have the mixture of sulfur powder and iron fillings. Now I am going to perform few tests. You can see this is the mixture, and in this mixture I am going to move this magnet. What you can see here, you can see that the iron fillings have been separated from the sulfur powder, and I have these iron fillings in my hand now. Can you see the iron fillings? They are being separated by the process. This is what it is known as the magnetic separation process. So you can see that from the mixture, the iron can be easily separated by the process which is known as the magnetic separation. Now I am going to put this magnet into this compound what is being formed. Now I'm going to take some of the mixture into the test tube, and then I'm going to add the carbon disulfide into it. You can see I have added carbon disulfide to the mixture, and you can see now I'm going to perform a process which is known as the filtration. You can see the filtration is going on. As the filtration takes place, here we have the carbon disulfide, and you can see here we have all the iron fillings separated from the carbon disulfide. So by this process we can separate the iron fillings as well as carbon disulfide with each other. But to separate the iron from this, now let us try to add this iron sulfide to the carbon disulfide, and let us see what happens. Let us add this carbon disulfide to it, and what you can observe is this newly formed substance does not dissolve in the carbon disulfide, and you can see that it is remaining at the bottom. So you can easily understand, my dear students, that when the iron sulfide is produced from iron and sulfur, this iron and sulfur, though it is having sulfur, it does not show the characteristics of sulfur, whereas this is the mixture which shows the characteristics of sulfur, and it has been dissolved into the carbon disulfide, whereas this does not dissolve into the carbon disulfide. So this is how we can understand. Now I am going to add hydrochloric acid or acid solution to both these substances. One is a compound, another is a mixture, and let us observe what happens. So I have two test tubes. In both these test tubes I am going to add the various substances. Here I shall add, in one mixture I am going to add the mixture, and in the other I have added compound. Now I am going to add few small amount of water in it so that we can have the reaction done in the aqueous medium, and then I am going to add few drops of acid, and let us see what happens. See, in this test tube some reaction has started and gas is formed. So in both this test tube you can see that the reaction takes place in a different manner. Here you can see the vigorous reaction takes place and the gas is produced, and here you can't see the gas, but actually due to the reaction of hydrogen, and here some hydrogen gas is produced, whereas here you can see that the gas has not been produced, or the hydrogen, here we get the hydrogen gas is produced, and here due to the vigorous reaction hydrogen sulfide gas is produced. And this is how we can understand that the mixture retains the property of component, whereas the compound does not retain the property of components from which it is made. At the same time, the mixture can be separated by the process like magnetic separation as well as the filtration, but the component of compound cannot be separated by the method of magnetic separation. I hope, my dear students, you are enjoying your studies. Happy learning.